I don't feel like I have the capacity to stop at this point.
I feel bad within myself that I know it's wrong and I can't really stop.
I've been addicted for a while.
I don't smoke.
No, I don't smoke.
No, I do not smoke. I don't smoke because I'm repulsed by it. Like I don't want to have to wake up in the morning and be like, oh my God, I can't do anything, I need a cigarette.
Well, I just think it's stupid. Like, if you know it can, like, kill you eventually, like, down the road, like, why you would smoke, like, a pack or 2 packs of cigarettes a day.
I guess I just think it's like a bad habit for you because you know how bad smoking is for you, but you still choose to do it. So I just look at it as not a good habit, like making bad choices, basically.
I think it's more, it's kind of gross, but in the same sense, it's like stupid because there's so much information out there now about how bad it is for you. I just don't see how an intelligent person nowadays can smoke knowing that.
It's like obviously unhealthy, and like I believe the advertisements on TV that it's really bad for you and stuff. So.
I think it's not a good habit just because of the health risks, and you know, as a young child, they make you, like in school, they make you more aware of smoking and how bad it is for you.
If I saw my kids smoking, I might have a nervous breakdown.
It bothers me when I see anybody smoking.
I've been brainwashing them since they were little that it's an ignorant thing to do and that it will make them sick.
They are putting themselves in guaranteed harm's way.
Heart disease, lung cancer, smelling bad. It's just ignorant. It's just a bad thing to do.
You smell when you smoke. Your clothes smell, your breath smells. If you could see what your lungs look like after you smoke, you'd stop right away.
I would say that this generation, they don't really, like my kids' friends don't really smoke. They have 1 or 2 friends that smoke, and I say things like how ignorant and sad for them.
Sometimes teens don't look at the long-term problem, they only look at the short-term.
It produces a cough. Especially if they're asthmatic, it will exacerbate their asthma. It can give you more frequent upper respiratory infections. It can have effects on your physical fitness. You can't run cross country. You can't play long bouts of basketball, tennis, whatever your forte is. In terms of adulthood, it'll lead to cardiac disease, respiratory disease, stroke, heart attack, and cancers not only of the mouth but of the lungs. The overall appearance of someone who smokes, their skin condition is different. They tend to have more acne. In teenagers, they have clubbing of their fingers. So it's not a social thing. It shouldn't be taken lightly. It can cause addiction. It can make you very sick. That's why we're trying to promote this education at such a young age. It's not a pretty picture when you have to see someone have their neck opened up to have their lymph nodes removed because they've had throat cancer, or if they've had a tracheotomy because they've had throat cancer. I don't think kids see that picture. Some of them today have seen the commercials that the Cancer Society puts out, and they're really very effective. In terms of addiction with teenagers, their brains are still developing, and they can become addicted much easier. Not only does nicotine fill some needs both emotionally, but it helps you with cravings for food, and at your age, most kids are trying to be thin. Nicotine will help you suppress some of your feelings if you're stressed out or whatever. Instead of reaching for your parents for help, you might reach for a cigarette instead.
I'm a teen smoker.
I'm a teenage smoker.
I'm a teen smoker.
I'm a teen smoker.
I'm a teenage smoker.
I'm a teenage smoker.
First time I ever had a cigarette, I was 12. First time I actually started smoking was when I was 16.
When I was 12 years old.
I started smoking freshman year, so about 3 years ago. And why? Because, I don't know, I guess it started like social smoking. Basically, that's it. And then it turned into having to buy packs for myself.
The summer between 8th grade and freshman year. And it sounds really stupid, but it was peer pressure, you know?
Well, I had my first cigarette when I was 9. Me and my 2 friends stole one of his mom's cigarettes, but My first cigarette when I was a freshman was I took them from my stepmom, and then she just started giving me cigarettes.
The first time I ever had a cigarette was when I was in 8th grade, and it was kind of just like a, well, I want to try it type thing. And then once I got to freshman year, it kind of turned into a like social thing, and then it just turned into an I wanted to smoke thing. Just like, do you want one? And you see everyone else doing it, and you want one. You want to be like everyone else. And then after a while, it's like, you like it. Well, I think pretty much everyone knows about the health problems that are associated with smoking, like, oh, lung cancer and health issues and all that stuff, but I mean, it obviously doesn't affect me that much or affect my decision.
I know there's plenty of health problems. I mean, lung cancer, emphysema, heart disease, anything like that. There's always the issues, but I enjoy smoking, and I know I'm taking a risk, but I think it's going to be all right.
Cancer, emphysema, we know it all.
Smoking's health problems are bad, very bad, but I don't know. I try to ignore them because I don't really want to think about them and what I'm doing to myself.
I know it's bad for me. I mean, I've gotten that in health class for I don't know how many years. So I'm fully aware that it's horrible for my lungs, and I know I'm stupid.
And right now I just don't really care about the bad things about it because I just try not to think about them right now.
The health risks, I don't know. I guess I don't have respect for my body in a sense, but it just doesn't bother me. I feel like there's enough diseases and problems that can go wrong with your body without smoking that adding that to the mix really doesn't affect it that much.
I had to hide it for a long time because my parents didn't know, and they would have freaked out if they did know. But now I don't try to hide it at all. I basically just walk outside my house and have a cigarette if I want to have one.
When I first started smoking, I hid it, and my parents got mad at me, but now I smoke around my parents, and like, obviously they don't want me to, but I don't have to hide it.
I did hide it from my parents for about 2 years. They finally caught me, and there were a few fights every once in a while, and then it just ended up being that I was going to continue doing it no matter what, so they kind of just got okay with it, and now I don't hide it at all. I mean, anyone who knows I smoke knows I smoke.
I hid it from when I was living in my dad's house when I first started smoking, so I hid it from him. And then I went to my mom's house, and like the first week that I moved there, she found them, so that I never ever cared. I didn't hide it at all. I hide it from my parents for the most part. Like, I mean, they know that I have and that I do, and I try to hide it from the people that I go to church with because they all think like really highly of me. So I try not to like let them know about my bad habits like that.
I tried to just chew gum after I had a cigarette. It didn't really work out very well.
Just didn't tell them. I used to just smoke in my room out the window, put them out in water bottles, and like, so instead of like going on the back deck and ashing them out on the back deck.
Sometimes I'll put like perfume on, or I just blame it on other people sometimes if I'm going home and my mom asks about it.
I'll smoke in front of anyone's, like any of my friends' friends or anyone I meet, like, it doesn't really bother me. If it's someone's parents, obviously I would ask first if it's okay for me to smoke in front of them, but for the most part, I just kind of light a cigarette without even thinking about it anymore, so. I don't ever smoke in front of people's parents, or I try not to, like unless it's an accident, that's something I can't really control, but new people I don't really hide smoking in front of.
Like I said, I don't really care about who I smoke in front of. It's just as a part of my lifestyle, and it's my decision and my choice, and people shouldn't think things about me or base opinions off of me because of a decision I make, like smoking cigarettes. I
smoke because I enjoy the feeling of smoking. I enjoy being relaxed for the 5 minutes, and also it's kind of the fact that, yeah, obviously I'm addicted to nicotine, but I'm also addicted to just the act of smoking. I enjoy smoking. It's not only the like physical things to it, that like habit, you know, that feeling in between your fingers. It's like, you know, once I stop smoking, I feel that need for that feeling in my lungs. And the headaches, it's hard. It's just like, not even necessarily chemical feelings of cigarette, it's just the act of actually putting a cigarette to your lips and feeling the smoke down your throat is more addicting, I think, than the actual nicotine in it. I don't really think it's chemical addiction as much as a mental one.
I don't know, it just, pulling that smoke into your lungs just feels nice. It's just, I don't know, it's relaxing, like, just calms you down. I guess no one was there at the
very moment when I picked up a cigarette, no one was there saying, you know, this is bad for you, stop.
I don't know, for a while I tried to say that I wasn't addicted and then I just kind of liked to smoke, but now I'm sort of out of excuses and I am pretty addicted.
You know you're addicted when you start getting the headaches and that feeling at around fourth period when you just can't take it anymore.
I smoke a pack a day. I mean, obviously I'm addicted. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but obviously I'm addicted. I wish I wasn't. I do regret being addicted, but I enjoy it, and right now I'm okay with the fact that I'm addicted, and maybe I will quit at some point, but for now I'm all right.
I get antsy, like anxious, and sometimes you get a headache, it just depends.
Really like antsy and usually get a headache and just like bajiggity is a good word for it.
Anxious, jittery, mean, spirited, a lot of it, all of it.
Generally angry, stressed, finding myself scheming up ways to get cigarettes if I can't get them legitly.
6 hours of school does kill you. I mean, it's not like in the beginning of the day when it kills me, but when you get to like third or fourth period and I sit there and I start thinking, I only have an hour before I can have a cigarette. All right, but then next thing you know, the clock starts going slower and slower, and you need one more and more, and by the time fourth period's over, I'm like running out the door because I just want one.
Being a smoker stresses me out sometimes because like, sometimes I can't always get them because I'm not of age to buy them. So not being able to get them stresses me out and pisses me off sometimes because it's just it's a hassle, and I don't really think it should be, because I think by the time you're 17 or 18 years old, you should like, you have the capacity and you have the brain power to be able to decide for yourself whether or not you want to smoke.
It drains my paycheck so much, and like I mean, by like the end of the week, I'm like, I don't have money to buy cigarettes or gas or anything.
It's stressful when I can't have one, and then my body feels stressed.
If you have like 5 of your friends that smoke, you go out, have a cigarette, I don't know, talk, chat, whatever. I mean, it brings people together in a way. I mean, I know that's dumb because like it gives you cancer.
It's a very social thing, you know, when you're with friends, you all start together, you all end together. You know, that's definitely another part to it is when I'm stressed or when I need one or when I'm with friends.
And I'll light up a cig just because I'm bored at work, or just because I got in my car and someone else got in and lit up a cig. It's just, someone could have one 5 minutes after I just had one, and I know I don't need one, but just seeing them do it, and I know I enjoy it and I kind of want to do it, so I mean, I could have 2 cigarettes in 10 minutes just because someone else had one.
If like I'm in the car with someone and someone else lights a cigarette, then I almost always light one too, because it's just like habit, and it's just like communal. It's a very, very social thing.
If I had known that, I mean, like my dad was always like, oh, you have an addictive personality, don't start smoking. Should have listened, it's true. I definitely regret it.
In some senses, yes, I regret it because I know that it costs a lot of money and I am causing my body harm, but it is something that I really like to do, so it's hard to say that I could fully regret it, but I think I would be better off if I didn't, but by this point in my life, I think I'm okay and I will quit at some point, so I think I'll be okay.
If I hadn't started smoking and I was given the chance now to start smoking, I probably wouldn't. Whereas when I was 11, 12 years old when I started smoking, I was young and I was naive and I just didn't really think about it.
I used to think about quitting a lot, but I used to like say like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna stop, and then I would stop, and then like I'd be out one time and have like a social cigarette, and then after that I'd be like, oh, well, I'm just gonna go get another pack.
I just quit 2 days ago, and it's Tuesday, so we'll see how it goes on Friday, but I quit all the time. I've quit 6 times, and they've lasted from anywhere to 2 days to a month, and it's hard.
I've probably said this is my last pack of cigarettes about 30 times, but I always say it, but I'm never really serious about it. There's been 1 or 2 times where I really was serious about it, and the longest I ever got without having a cigarette was 6 days.
The only reason that I would want to quit is because of money issues. Honestly, the health risks don't scare me that much. It's mostly just because it costs so much that I would think about quitting, and the fact of it is that I enjoy it more than the fact of losing the money and I can still afford them, so I work it out.
Well, teenage smoking to a degree is kind of like a problem, and I think it is sort of ridiculous.
I think more teens smoke than they should. I think that it's a lot easier for teens to get cigarettes than it should be. but I obviously can't criticize it because, I mean, I'm a teen who needs to get cigarettes, and it is easy for me. So, I mean, I like that it's like that, but at the same time, I guess if it wasn't, it would probably be better off.
My opinion is that if you haven't started, don't start. Stray from it as much as possible. And if you're with people who do smoke, make sure they know that you don't smoke. And I don't know, my best advice would be to not start.
I'm not gonna encourage anyone to smoke, but I mean, they want to bum a cigarette, I'll give them a cigarette. I'm not gonna be like, hey, smoke this cigarette and you'll be cool.
I would not encourage other people to smoke at all.
I think it's something that I do enjoy doing and something that I'm going to continue to enjoy doing, but I wouldn't suggest that anyone start it.